wrestling with AEW Dynasty. Um,
Please no.
it was last Saturday. Um,
Oh, I'm trying to forget.
it took place in St. Louis, Missouri,
Did
at
it?
the Chaffee Fetzes Arena. Attendance was 6,287. Um,
Ah, sleeping their way to the middle.
and all of the key players were at Dynasty. You got Elizabeth Gillies, Grant Show, Pamela Martin, Adam Harbour, you may know as -1. He grew up. Daniela Alonso. Yeah, all of the cast of Dynasty was there. We're going to be setting up AEW Friday Night Lights coming
Oh
next year.
God, you're referring to the updated cast. My God, I could go all about the original cast of Dynasty, except I don't want to.
Yeah, like all it took was like a quick Google search, and yeah, Elizabeth Gillies. Loved her on iCarly. What was it? The other
Well,
one,
she was she was
Victorious.
actually she was Stabler's wife on Law and Order.
Yeah, I don't watch Law and Order.
Uh, Special Victims Underwear. Coincidentally, uh,
Did she kill
Harvey
somebody?
Weinstein. She was actually in the first episode, but Harvey Weinstein is the basis for every episode.
Was did somebody get killed with a pussy candle?
No, but that would be the perfect crime.
Now, if anybody just started watching us like right now, then people are wondering what the fuck are we talking about?
I mean, you beat them with the candle, and then you just light the candle.
Definitely go back to watch our news portion of the show to understand what we're saying. All right. If I'm being honest, I didn't go into this show with a lot of expectations. God knows why I
I didn't
wouldn't.
go into it with any.
Yeah. That being said, I didn't necessarily think it was that bad. We'll get into what I thought was bad, but um, I thought that this was one of AEW's most logical paid previews that they've done possibly ever. Um, Again, just my opinion. I actually enjoyed some of the content that was on this show. But what say you, Scooter?
I I avoided this like the clap, unlike Harvey Weinstein. Um, like I didn't even realize Okada was facing Pac.
We talked about it last week.
I didn't realize we were talking about Pac. Uh, I mean, this is a egregious misuse of uh, Adam Copeland. Uh, it's like you're you don't want to be being perceived as using your influence to get to the top, as long as people don't think you're using your influence to get to the middle. Uh, uh, the dream match, not a dream for me. It was nap inducing. The idea of doing a dream match really takes much longer time of a build.
Right.
Uh,
I
you
can't
know,
necessarily speak to their build because I don't watch AEW every week. I barely watch it at all.
Uh, you know, again, FTR riding that roller coaster to nowhere. Uh,
Yeah.
and the fact that we should be talking more about the fact that there is a black AEW World Champion for the first time. We should really be talking more about that. But
They swerved us.
the
They swerved us
no,
with
I
smoke.
mean, no, they drove right into us and right into our friggin' nuts because literally AEW thinks that people who people with a significant weight advantage against people with a much smaller you know weight handicap uh, can only go one way, and that's tons of finishers first, and then 5 minutes in, let's take it home. This could have been so right. It just didn't. It. I will say this again. It didn't really go wrong, but it absolutely did not go right.
Well, let's get into it. We got Kazuchika Okada defending the Continental Breakfast Championship against Pickpack. He won in 21 minutes and 55 seconds. Okada, that is. Um, Out of anything that they could have picked to be the opener, I thought this was arguably the best route they could have gone. They had like a legit New Japan match, and I honestly dug it. I thought it was a good competitive match. There wasn't necessarily a lot of flippy shit or, you know, instant kickouts or, it wasn't a typical or normal AEW match. It was, you know, it was more based in reality, if I'm being honest. And I appreciated that because it's not something I see from AEW all that often. Scooter?
I was taking a nap. When I woke up, I had that Sasha Banks movie on.
I mean, you're taking a lot of naps. Should I be concerned?
No, naps and me go together like Pepsi and Harvey Weinstein.
We need to stop that now.
Oh, I'm never letting that go.
I give the match, you know what? Fuck it, 4 stars. Um,
I'll give it 4 just because.
because you literally have nothing to go on, huh?
Yep.
Go on. The next match, we have Edge, yeah, Edge, Eddie Kingston and Mark Briscoe versus the House of Black that still doesn't have any black members. Milwaukee Black, Brody Burger King, and Don't Call Me Buddy Pal Matthews. The match ended with the House of Black, Malachi taking the W on Edge in 17 minutes and 45 seconds. Somewhat clusterfuckery. You don't expect to have a 6-man in AEW unless, this is going to happen. But the ending, hear me out, the ending actually made sense, and it actually set something up. Malachi got the pin on Edge. He hit him with the miss, so obviously, he's going to get a TNT Championship match. maybe 4 years too late, he sort of beat Cody for that belt, but, beggars can't be choosers. And I could definitely make the argument that this match should have been on Dynamite and the Edge versus Malachi should have been, on paid preview. But again, beggars can't necessarily be choosers at this point. What say you, Scooter? Or was you asleep for this match as well?
No, I saw this. I mean, this was a true mishmash of, I really feel like they threw darts at a board to see who would team with Cope. And don't worry, New Japan will come up with the House of Black People soon. Yeah, this was, for a company that does way more trios matches than it really should, which, by the way, once again, AEW and ROH titles have been merged with the trio titles. Nobody cares.
Yep.
Yeah, they were bound to pull a good one out of the hat eventually. That didn't involve
a blind squirrel gets a nut every once in a while.
Yeah, that didn't come from the Young Bucks pants. Yeah, this was a to me 4-star classic, maybe even 4.5.
4.5 stars?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have taken it that far. I'd give it 3 stars. It was a 2.5 star, but because I liked the ending and it made sense, 3 stars. Alright, we got Willow Nightingale defeating Julia Hart in a House Rules match for that bitch championship. Sky Blue.
Wait. The TBC title?
That bitch. Oh, that bitch show, I should say.
It's the bitch show.
Chris Statlander and Sky Blue were banned from ringside, which is disappointing because, Sky Blue,
That ass.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kaliko. That ass.
It was a match on the card. I kind of feel bad for Julia. Happy for Willow, but also knowing that Willow is going to be losing this title very, very soon. I hate the fact that Mercedes just came out in whatever the hell that dress was, did her little dance, took a picture, and literally fucking left like nothing.
Again, I'm gonna go back to this phrase. She doesn't mind if people think she's sleeping her way to the top, just as long as they don't think she's sleeping her way to the middle. And technically, she's continuing to sleep her way to the middle by going for the mid-card title. This is God. Yeah. A bloated roster, blah, blah, blah. Too many people, not enough. No, because then they'll come up with something fucking stupid. Like matches with 3-minute time limits. As if they were, oh my god, a cocaine rules match. There's no bumps involved. It's literally whoever can snort the most cocaine. But it has to be done off a female's backside.
Will you stop it?
And then that female superstar will break wind blowing all the cocaine. And then Tony will get so pissed that you wasted all that cocaine. What were we talking about again? Will Nightingale. Congrats. Came out of the NYWC. We are all so proud that one of Long Island's own is back in
Are you saying Long Island or Love Island?
I'm clearly saying Love Island.
I don't know. It sounded like you were saying Love Island. I don't remember seeing
one of Long Island. Hey, one of Long Island. One of Long Island's own. Getting back to the middle.
How many stars, Scooter?
2.
I'll give it 2.5. Next, we have the Intercontinental International Championship match. Roderick Strong defeated Kyle O'Reilly parts. O'Reilly.
O'Reilly automotive parts.
It was 17 minutes and 20 seconds.
Took place at the pay-per-view we are reviewing right now.
Yeah. I kind of overlooked this match last week. How the fuck was Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly not going to have a banger? It was.
This was, this is one of the classic examples of chicken shit and chicken salad.
They're obviously, two of the best that AEW has to offer. I might not agree as to why they're wrestling. It kind of seems stupid to me. But, when they actually get in the ring and they, beat the crap out of each other, it's going to be good shit. Which it was. O'Reilly, low-key underrated, one of the best technical wrestlers of all time, if I'm being honest. And Roderick, is Roderick. So, this all, really hit, strong. Neck strong. Roderick strong. But what say you, Scooter?
Yeah, this was the match you would think it was, no matter what promotion it was for. It was such a good match built on such little time, and the fact that Kyle O'Reilly still hasn't developed a personality says something. If Kyle O'Reilly can actually manufacture a personality, he might very well have a chance at being the most well-named, the most recognized, entertaining pro wrestler in the world, and he could finally shut Will Ospreay up. 4 stars.
Agreed, 4 stars. Now we have the Fuck This Match Rules match for the Fuck This Match Championship. NDA is Joke defeated Hook in 16 minutes and 35 seconds. It was, a weapons match, a crap, all that good shit. Maybe when 6 minutes way too long, but I will, if they do something with this where Hook wrestles Chris Jericho on the next fucking paid preview and gets his belt back, then I would, in hindsight, call this match a success. Because Jericho, that last shot with the baseball bat was actually pretty nasty. And, having, his dad come in and check on him, which we've never seen before in, a Hook match, it can lead to, good shit down the line. But if this was just Chris Jericho getting a title to, satisfy his ego, and, bury Hook, then this was not good. I suppose hindsight will reveal whether or not this was a success or not. Scooter?
Yeah, I don't know why Jericho even had to be put in a team with Hook. You knew that as soon as they were put together, they were going to eventually have a match that didn't need to happen. Because, like it or not, Hook is the closest thing AEW has, aside from one or two other teams, to go after the young demographic. And the fact that, Hook was basically holding the Taz Family Championship, which I call the Ass to Mouth Championship, the ATM, but you never go ass to mouth. Oh, yes.
We've had way too many acronyms in this fucking episode.
Cool. Acronym Mania's running wild. That's the title for the.
Unfortunately, yes, it's going to be.
Because when something like this happens, and even though you know that there are times when Jericho is willing to do the job.
When has he done the job in AEW?
Action Andretti.
Fuck that shit.
I mean, hey, that was the 1, 2, 3.
The only reason he lost to Action Andretti was because people literally said he did not do jobs. So he did a job to say, I did a job. But what has Action Andretti done?
That's why I said occasionally.
And
respect the adverb. But in these situations, you know that it's Chris Jericho feeding his ego.
Oh yeah.
Why he wanted the FTW title when it's really not a legal championship to begin with. That's the title's gimmick. It's the only remaining title in pro wrestling with a gimmick.
Right.
Its gimmick is that it has no gimmick.
What about the Internet Championship?
There's an AEW Internet Championship?
No, Zack Ryder's Internet Championship.
Doesn't count, I'm afraid. Chris Jericho is doing this just so he can have the title.
Oh yeah.
Feel like he's important and trying to kill the push of someone who could potentially carry AEW, because if they're really going to book him more like his father, Taz never lost in ECW until Bam Bam Bigelow. And he never lost again after that.
Yeah, I would see Hook staying his whole career in EW, if I'm being honest. I think his father's smart enough to tell the kid, when your contract comes up, get the fuck out, go to NXT.
Bubba Ray and Devon were most likely looking out for him, and they probably have a space reserved for him already. That being said, I will be challenging Chris Jericho for the ATM Championship. And if I win, he will pay my overdraft fees. If not, well, I will trap him in a room with Harvey Weinstein. And some Pepsi.
How many stars you get?
1.5.
I'll give it 2 stars if this actually goes somewhere and Hook gets some comeuppance from it, an actual storyline. Then I will give it 3. But, that 3 has an asterisk at it, on it right now.
TBA.
I said no more acronyms.
No, don't hate me!
When did you become Mr. Bill?
No!
We got the AEW Women's Championship match. Timeless Tony Storm with Gunther and Mariah Carey. She defeated Thunder Rosa by pinfall in 15 minutes and 10 seconds. Honestly, I have no idea what was the issue between these 2 girls, but it was pretty hot, and it... No, not that kind of hot, but I mean, the crowd was hot for it. And, Thunder Rosa knows how to bring the drama and the flames to a pro wrestling match. And, it was 15 minutes, and it felt all 15 minutes. Like, it was non-stop the whole way. Honestly, my opinion, good shit between these 2. Maybe a little clusterfuckery at the end. Obviously Tony hasn't won a match, without outside interference, but, the ending did seem a little flat, if I'm being honest. And just touching on, Thunder Rosa, bringing the fire in a match. People get pops when they come out in face paint. She got a pop for having no face paint on. Like, wow. Scooter?
And yet she didn't win.
Nope.
It's not flat. That ass of Tony Storm and Thunder Rosa. Oh, I'm sorry, Coleco. This is how you do a 4-star match with all of the time and no break spots. that being said, we knew Thunder Rosa wasn't going to take it off her. I mean, I'm pretty sure this was about Thunder Rosa not initially losing it to Tony. They may have done that already. I don't know. I can't remember half this shit.
Nobody knows.
Still, it was. If you ask me, this match was better than most of the men's matches. I'll give it 4 stars.
I'll give it 4 stars too. Now, at this point in the show, I'm actually enjoying it. I'm feeling a little bit of the fatigue, and if they would have kind of gone from this match to Swerve and Samoa Joe, I would have been pretty content with that. I would have sat here and told you, well, it went maybe a little bit longer than I would have liked, but everything fit and meshed well. But they had to have 2 fucking more matches, dream matches if I'm being honest, after this one. And the next one was Will Ospreay versus Don't Call Me Bryan Danielson. I know like a lot of people like really raved about this match. Oh, it's the greatest match of all time, yada yada. I didn't feel like it was that. I felt it was a lot of gaga, a lot of false finishes. It was a lot of the bullshit that we know AEW for being. That internet blow your load match. Oh, that's a good way to call it now.
No more acronyms!
It's the match you say, each, ni, san, for Anoki. I didn't like it. I was barely watching it at this point. Kind of just like on the corner of my eye. I kind of knew what they were going to do before they did it. It was melodramatic. It was anticlimactic. It was pretty fake and phony, if I'm being completely honest. The crowd loved it, obviously, but I just didn't. Your thoughts, Scooter?
I felt exactly the same way. This wasn't a dream match. This was only a dream match if you were a really consistent New Japan watcher.
Or you have really like sick dreams.
Yeah. In no promotion. You know what? This might have been a dream match anywhere else except AEW and New Japan. For Will Ospreay to have a dream match, the opponent needs to be the dream. Not Dusty. Hell, Will Ospreay and Sabu is more of a dream match to me. Will Ospreay and Rob Van Dam is more of a dream match to me.
Will Ospreay in any type of match, for me personally, is not a dream match. It's a match I just don't want to watch.
Yeah, you know what? That puts it perfectly. That being said, I want some of Dave Meltzer's cocaine for how he rated this.
How many stars did he give it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5.
6.5. I'm surprised he didn't give it 8 or 9.
You know what? I'm not going to give it a rating.
You know what? That is perfectly understandable. I won't give it a rating either. If you like this type of match, good on you, but it's just not our cup of tea.
And it happens. It's been happening way too often, and without a substantial build. If there are dream matches, they need to be announced way in advance. That's what makes them, the build exciting, and they really do have to have a name that you can legit sell as a dream match.
Now we have the middle-aged Bucks, Mike and Nick. Um, they took on Fuck the Revival, Dax and Cash, in a ladder match to determine the new tag team champions. Um, it's no surprise that FTR lost this match. They're kind of murdering at this point. And it's 100% no surprise that Jack Perry came out and cost them the match. I don't know if you heard, but I didn't hear like there was a big pop for Jack Perry. I think everybody kind of saw it coming, no?
Yeah, I mean, it was. Yeah, you know what? I can't defend it.
You know, it's a sad situation when these guys are trying their damnedest to have, the greatest ladder match of all time.
Until the next one.
And the crowd is chanting to them, please be safe.
God, I forgot that.
Like that's not exactly the chant you want.
I mean, hell, in the mid-90s, it was, please don't die. Please don't die.
Yeah. This is so self-indulgent. Like, they're trying their damnness to stay relevant at this point, the Young Bucks
I mean,
like, this didn't need to be the Young Bucks anymore. They could have just, like, gone into the good night at this point, and people would have respected them for it. They're just kind of making asses of themselves, trying to stay relevant.
yeah, pretty soon, the crowd is going to come up with, stuff to try and actually get them out of the ring and leave. Like, you left your stove on. Your front door's open. Your house is on fire. Your child's been kidnapped. We demand money.
The whole thing with Tony Khan getting attacked, that could have been so much more impactful if it went to somebody that could actually have benefited from attacking Tony Khan, rather than two desperate middle-aged men that are trying to stay relevant. Like, nobody wants to see the Young Bucks anymore. They're not an attraction. And they're putting, instead of stepping aside or stepping away, they're putting themselves at the forefront, literally putting themselves down our throat.
You know what? Should have Luchasaurus should have made the save.
Interesting.
Hell, an entire face turn for Nick Wayne, Luchasaurus, and Christian.
Okay, that would have been something.
And then maybe we could actually work on getting to the Young Bucks versus Edge and Christian.
Is that a dream match at this point?
I think it's a promo video for ARP.
Stop it with the acronyms.
The advance. Oh, forget it.
Thank God.
For the old people acronym.
Oh, the old people. The only match I wanted to see Edge and Christian wrestle again was a potential Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy reunion. You know, just the Hardys versus Edge and Christian one more time.
Yeah,
They fucking had it in their palms, and they didn't do it. That being said, no heat. This wasn't a good ladder match. Didn't do anything new, unique, or interesting in that genre of wrestling. 1 star.
I'll be nice. 2 stars.
Alright, and that brings us to the main event, the last match. Swerve Strickland defeated Samoa Joe to become the new AEW World Champion in 18 minutes. It was a good match, but unfortunately, at this point, I'm tired as fuck. I don't want to be watching this show anymore. It definitely takes away from Swerve's moment when I understand why it was on last. It rightfully so should have been on last. But if they would have cut 2 matches, even 1 at this point, it would have been a little bit easier to digest. That's always been AEW's biggest problem. 8-hour pay-per-views, and I don't have the time or the patience to put into that.
Yeah.
Nothing against the match. It was a decent match, but I was just drained at this point.
You know what? I really I do other things during the matches. I really don't pay attention to. And at around 11:30, I'm like, oh shit! I probably missed the rest of the show. You can imagine how surprised I was when it's 11:30 p.m. and they're at introductions for Swerve and Joe.
Yeah.
You know, pretty soon, what I think they're going for is a match that starts at 11 and ends after midnight.
Wasn't that
At least in
MJF
one time zone.
Isn't that MJF versus Daniel Bryan?
No, since that went a complete hour. No. Just no.
And, you're absolutely right. We should be talking about Swerve. Against all odds, he was not the chosen son of the WWE. Unappreciated. They throw him into a clusterfuck tag team with Keith Lee. He manages to somehow get out of that, get himself over from the ashes of 2 failed factions, gets with Prince Nana against all odds.
Yeah.
And it sends him into the fucking stratosphere.
Yeah.
And if, we talked about Tony Storm, if there was a close second to how over Tony's over, it's probably Swerve. You know, he is the biggest star that they got. And we're not talking about Swerve winning the championship and what a tremendous, you know, accolade that is for him. And I am truly, like, happy for him that he won the championship because he absolutely deserves it. We're talking about, as everybody heard, AEW being cheesy, Tony Storm and pussy scented candles, and Tony Khan getting beat up. Like, Swerve, that this should be all a vocal point on Swerve winning the champion. And it's like he took a complete back seat. Not even the back seat, the way, way back to everything else that was going on.
And you know what the worst part of this was? He opened Dynamite with a title defense.
He wrestled?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a fucking shame.
You know, that being said, this was finisher right out of the gate again. And it was... I don't know why they feel the need to do this all the time now. You know, Muscle Buster, boom, right out the gate. Match over, can we go home? No, apparently. Okay, great. You've just killed one of your finishers, which is supposed to be one of the most powerful moves in wrestling. And then again, you know, it's like a constant reminder, hey, remember, Joe is much bigger than Swerve. Like, at no point did they ever equate that Swerve had as an equal a chance to win more than Samoa Joe did.
Well, I knew immediately that Swerve was winning the match when he came out in that sick Wakanda Forever gear.
Yes, that was great, and you knew that Prince Nana was put with him, not expecting Prince Nana to get over, because you know I've known Nana for years. Nana used to be bigger than Samoa Joe. And he did actually used to be quite an impressive in-ring performer. Now that he's much more svelte, he is, you know, Nana is definitely, you know, finding his form. But you know, a company that is practically a meme generator gets a superstar over by a manager leaning heavily into the meme. Yeah, this is why I think AEW really needs to pay more attention to what the critics are saying and really be more tongue-in-cheek about themselves and play into that. Like, but know their limits. You know, again, Swerve hitting the house call, or so many times, there's a word for that. It's insanity. And eventually, when that happens, a match becomes pure insanity and not in a good clusterfuckery type of way. You know, the crowd was like, all right, come on, Swerve. Just take it home so we can get the hell out of here.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah. Like, this should have been so much more of a celebratory moment. And it's like AEW is really trying to say, look at us. Even though we're putting focus on the titles aren't the real showstopper of our promotion. We actually care about which performers can go last and blah blah blah. They're tryhards, but they're tryhards in all the wrong ways. Oh man, as much as I loved seeing Swerve win, and I was never that big a fan of Swerve, but watching him in his matches with Hangman won me over. It's what won everyone over. And as much as I loved seeing Swerve win, I'm wondering if it would have been better if he won it at the next pay-per-view.
Double or nothing.
That's a terrible thing to think. Especially when you know they deserve it.
How is they going to delay it any longer than they already did?
They're AEW.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, oh God, another acronym.
What's the acronym we're talking about? So, this should have been a 4-star match. This should have been, a major event, and it just kind of fell to the wayside, unfortunately. I'll still give it 3.5 stars. It should have been a 4.5, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to give this 630 stars. But I'll be nice and say 3.25.
Alright. The show as a whole, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
Thumbs in the middle, leaning towards the asshole.
I give it an Orange Cassidy thumbs up. I enjoy... Huh?
Whatever.
I enjoyed everything up until Will Ospreay and Daniel Bryan. And everything after that, my enthusiasm just kind of deflated to the point where I wanted this shit to end. And, if Tony and Dundo finished with the last match, this would have been a complete thumbs up. But, yeah, it wasn't. So, here we are. Alright. That will conclude our coverage of AEW Dynasty, and join us. That will conclude this episode as a whole. Thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us this Tuesday. Join us this Monday as we interview Celine Gray. This Tuesday as we interview Sexy Eddie. And this Wednesday as we interview Psycho Boy Fado. follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on Extra and Instagram, and follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Scooter?
Find me on X at Scooter Dust, and watch me unveil my brand new places I've took a dump map. You'll be surprised at the cluster in New York, and I wasn't eating corn. And of course, my profile picture giveaway still up for grabs. No one's been able to identify what my profile picture on X is. Remember, if you can identify it, you get a free year of Peacock ad-free.
Has anybody even guessed?
No. And that's the way, I like it.
For Coleco Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.